Oh, what is going on, Mafia? It is Buffmafia _716, repping your 1988 AFC champions, Buffalo Bills, on a Wednesday afternoon, and Stefon Diggs is at mandatory minicamp. Welcome. I promise we're not going to spend too long talking about 14. Welcome to everybody joining. I love that we can just hop on an unannounced live stream like this and have 25 plus viewers like that. Don't even have to plan it out because that's how awesome you all are in the Mafia. Yes, this will be posted to the account later, so if you are someone watching this not live, welcome as well. If you're watching this on the YouTube channel, welcome to you as well, all the same, Mafia. Guys, we're going to jump right into it. So, mandatory minicamp day 2, Wednesday, mandatory minicamp. Again, reminder, no contact. It's, it's 7-on-7, 11-on-11s, no pads. But guess what? Wide receiver Stefon Diggs is in attendance. So we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about this at the beginning. Got to get this out of the way. Shout out everybody joining. I'm going to read some comments as we go along. But we got to talk about Diggs. So before anybody dismisses this as this was never a story, this was nothing, this is just because we're in the middle of June and there's nothing to talk about for football, there is something to be said for that. And I get the whole, especially as a content creator, as someone that is a huge Bills fan and itching for football, I definitely get the whole, there's nothing to talk about, this is the only thing to talk about. Where I pull back from that and I guess hop on to the whole, this is more of a story than just nothing, are the comments that we heard. Yes, from Sean McDermott with the very concerned comment, but I'm actually way more keying in on what Josh Allen had to say yesterday. Josh Allen was very real and open about the struggle between him and his number one target, one of his best friends in the world, Stefon Diggs, talking about that they're working through some things. And shout out Josh, he's just such a real dude. I think it's part of the reason that Bills fans and NFL fans alike gravitate towards the guy because he's so down to earth and he comes off as so authentic, this kid from Firebaugh, California. And he was real about his struggles with Diggs and not necessarily equating them to on the football field. He mentioned that he thinks that they may not be communicating the Bills as an organization effectively the way they want to in this situation. So definitely something to key in and look out as far as going forward is, I guess, my point. Yes, he's there, but I guess is the water completely under the bridge, so to speak? I'm not completely content with the Diggs-Bill situation just based off of what's happened in the last 24 hours, and I don't think that's like overreacting by any means. Yes, he's there, though. It's great news. We can move forward. It's not like we're going to have a bunch of posts about Diggs and moving on from Diggs hypothetically, but this is a great comment to kind of segue into the whole issue itself from Chef VJ Broiled Sr. Diggs needs to get the ball, yo. Guys, I think that is really what this comes down to. He is a heavily utilized receiver, but if that's really his issue in the big games, that they're not going to him as the true X and as the true bread and butter of the offense, I'm with him. And I'm with Diggs in that reaction after the Bengals game, immediately after the clear frustration. Yeah, and that's, I'd say, 90% plus of Bills fans. If you're not upset with how that Bengals game ended and how that all kind of transpired, and you're not having that fiery Diggs energy, maybe you got to do some looking inward and realize that is BS, the way that kind of all unfolded. That being said, we're 5 months removed. Time to gear up for 2023, 24, you know, and clearly that's what Diggs is doing, showing up to camp today. You love it. One more comment I'll read on this, and then we'll move on from Diggs. Amron Sam, I also think Dorsey is involved. And yeah, there's probably some level of that, some frustration. A rookie offensive coordinator last year, Dorsey, a rookie play caller. I'm sure Diggs had some moments where tensions are flying high. They're not necessarily getting him the ball the way that he and Josh and he and maybe some other pieces of the offense anticipate. Moving forward, though, guys, again, this was still an extremely productive offense last year, you know, under Dorsey, given everything. Shout out, man. Good to see you at Locals, too. Yeah, awesome. From Amron Sam, too, also upset that at crucial times he wasn't targeted. Yeah, and guys, that all kind of, all the comments are kind of, I love that you guys are all kind of hitting the nail on the head here. And also what Josh said is that some things did not go their way last season they would have liked to. Okay, that's life. All right, we're moving forward. Diggs is at camp. We love to see it. All right. Shout out everybody joining. Shout out all the comments. Going to move on from Diggs, guys, because we got a lot more stuff to cover as far as OTAs, as far as minicamp, as far as season outlook. We got a big injury update, and I love that Lucky Marg70 just could not have been more on cue with that. Is Knox participating today? I heard he got hurt, his knee hurt yesterday. Yeah, so wearing a sleeve on the knee, Dawson Knox is. Him and Taylor Rapp collided in practice yesterday, Tuesday. Again, this is generally non-contact, guys, but stuff like that still happens. Guys are out there in the heat, obviously. So Knox dealing with a knee injury. From what I've heard, it's not severe. Otherwise, he wouldn't be, still walking around on it with a brace, with just a wrap. But we'll see. We're going to very much monitor that. It's one of the few very, reassurances you have in that you just drafted Kincaid, so it's not like the tight end position screwed if Dawson Knox has to miss a little bit of time, but it's still a super important player on this offense and piece. You'd hate if he has to miss any kind of time for that. But yeah, we will keep an eye on the Dawson Knox injury update. That's the headline injury update as far as the Buffalo Bills in minicamp. Dawson Knox dealing with a knee injury. If you're just joining, welcome. Diggs back at camp. If you're watching this later on the account, welcome as well. If you're watching this on the YouTube channel, welcome all the same. Just joined. Right tackle battle at O-line, Twist LOT. Yeah, so we'll talk a little bit about offensive line. Then we're going to pivot to defense because we got a lot to cover on defense. But offensive line, guys, it's Spencer Brown's job to lose at right tackle, all right? And the Bills did a really nice job bringing in pieces to compete with Spencer Brown, but even more so to provide really solid depth. You got Brandon Shell, the former Miami Dolphin from last season. They brought in late in free agency. Really nice piece there, even if does just end up being a swing tackle depth piece, Shell. But competition for Spencer Brown regardless. You're obviously bringing back David Quessenberry, who they re-signed to a one-year deal. He's a free agent, but he's back, providing either that depth role or, again, like I mentioned, competition for Spencer Brown on the right side. Really excited to see what both those guys offer just in terms of depth, but even, hey, who knows? If one of them snags a preseason start, people are going to start turning their heads. If one of them is logging significant first-team reps, look out, Spencer Brown. Again, we're rooting for Spencer Brown, young player, as most Bills fans should be. That's not saying that we don't want to see those other two guys succeed. But Spencer Brown, draft pick, young guy, rooting for all of them to provide for this offense. But, again, battle on the offensive line, right tackle, really exciting. Guard-wise, all right? So from what I've heard, it's still McGovern and Bates taking first-team reps. It's going to be really interesting to see if Osiris Torrance, the rookie second-round pick, does slip in there. Again, guys, this is day 2 of minicamp, so it's not like there's not super intense takeaways to be made from this. But right now, it's looking like they're rolling with the veterans on the offensive line, on the interior of the offensive line, with recently signed interior offensive line Connor McGovern and Ryan Bates, who you all know. Been on the Bills for a few years here. Super versatile. Love both those guys. So exciting. We'll see. And I love that Catrizi just commented, loving how deep we are in most positions this year. We are. And offensive line, boom, just kind of hit the nail on the head there with all that. Ray Money 85, I see your request, my man. I would love to go live with you, but we are going to be posting this later, and I don't want to mess with the Wi-Fi. You never know. So I promise we'll have you on here soon. Chat it up, Bills. Going to pivot to defense, though. Twist LOT. Love it. Yeah, Mac linebacker. So we heard Sean McDermott talk yesterday about the competition there for middle linebacker. Kind of interesting that he mentions Baylon Spector. He mentions Tyrell Dodson. Not in this order. I don't remember the specific order. Mentions A.J. Klein as well as Terrell Bernard. Doesn't mention Dorian Williams by name, but from what we're hearing, rookie Dorian Williams out of Tulane, getting a lot of looks for the first team with alongside Matt Milano there at linebacker. Bottom line is I feel a lot better about that position battle than I did immediately after losing Tremaine Edmonds. And part of the reason for that is because we did not have A.J. Klein under contract at that point. We had not drafted Dorian Williams at that point. They've done a really nice job bringing in even more solid young players, even solid players in general, obviously A.J. Klein of that, to compete at that position with Dodson, Bernard, and even Baylon Spector, 7th-round pick from a couple years back. So Mac linebacker battle, heated. I could see it being literally any one of those 5 guys that I just listed, which is exciting. Obviously, Matt Milano, you have a star at the weak side spot, and that gives you a lot more assurance going into the season. It's not like it's those 5 guys competing and then another rookie or something. Even if it was a first-round rookie, you've got Matt Milano there. Really excited to see who comes away with that other starting spot. I am personally pounding the table for Dorian Williams week 1, seeing what he can do, but again, that's not to take away from what any of those other guys can do. Could really be happy with any one of those linebackers. And again, being in a building with Bobby Babich, being in a building with this comment that John Kipfer just alluded to, McDermott having a career making out of and developing linebackers, got to be happy about that. And yeah, staying on the defensive side of the ball, guys, just minicamp takeaways. Sean McDermott adding that Taylor Rapp, a really nice addition. Brandon Beam, we've already heard him talk about it this offseason, saying that was a guy that they pegged as even a potential Jordan Poyer replacement had he left in free agency. So, again, he's already flashing in minicamp. You don't love that he collided with Dawson Knox. It's obviously not probably anybody's fault. Stuff happens like that. But, Taylor Rapp already turned some heads early in minicamp. Veteran leader there. A guy who, he's on a one-year deal with the Bills, but there's no reason that this couldn't be a, future relationship if they are able to work something with the cap next year and keep him around if he's able to flourish under this scheme. I'm really excited for Taylor Rapp, short term in this year with the Bills and just maybe even beyond. Herb Bergeron, what role do you see for Benford? So let's talk about the corner competition because this is really something that's a big takeaway. Right now, through 2 days of mandatory minicamp, it's looking like Trey White is obviously your CB1. Dane Jackson has emerged as the early leader for cornerback 2. We've talked about it before. This coaching staff loves Dane Jackson. He gets, I think, unfairly criticized by some Bills fans, I think because of the position that he plays, and that the position that he plays is so tough and it sometimes highlights very, very minor and smaller mistakes and miscues. I shouldn't even call them mistakes in the secondary, and that it's such an offensive game. And I think Dane Jackson, takes a lot of heat that he probably doesn't deserve when you actually watch his game and what he's able to do on this defense. The coaching staff obviously loves him, loves his practice habits. He wouldn't be earning that spot if not. They've talked about Kyer Elam and his practice habits getting better as his rookie year progressed last year. But right now they feel comfortable with Dane Jackson starting opposite Trey White, and it's a competition from there on out. And that includes Benford, Elam. That includes recently signed corner out from Minnesota. We'll see. And then obviously you got some younger players too, just scratching and clawing to try to earn that spot. We'll see. But right now it's Dane Jackson's job to lose. Am I the only one who thinks Trey is trade value and have good young corners? I love him, but he missed a step from Twistel OT. When you look at the contract situation and the fact that he's got a top 5 cap hit on the team, I feel that. And I've been also, again, advocating for a potential restructure there just because I think relatively unproven coming off the injury. The Bills are taking care of him. We'll just say that. I don't view him as trade value personally, but definitely a situation to monitor there with the price tag and kind of, again, for what you're hearing from McDermott, another takeaway from minicamps is that Trey is working his butt off, and they love the player that he is, and they love what they're seeing from him so far. So I'll leave it at that. But, big competition there at the for cornerback 2 spot. Interesting to see that Dane Jackson's kind of the leader there. Last comment I'll read about the defense, and then, guys, I think we're going to wrap this up. Hit factory, are there any free agent veterans you'd like to see bring in to play Mac linebacker? I think A.J. Klein, as much as he is traditionally a strong side linebacker in a traditional 4-3, I think he is your veteran that they brought in to play Mac linebacker there. So hit factory, I guess long story short, no. I think we got enough guys competing for that spot. We'll see how it pays out. You guys rock. Buffmafia _716. Guys, this will be posted to the account later. If you were joining late, no worries. Also going to have this posted to the YouTube channel. Check that out. Check out our Twitter. Same handle all around. You guys rock. Let's go, Buffalo. Take it easy, everybody.